everyone, Lau here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Vlogmas. It's December the 17th. Okay, so let's just jump right into opening up the calendar and let's see which Disney mystery pin I get today. Where is the 17th? There it is. Let's see what it is. It feels like one of the soda can pins. Let's see if I know which movie it is based on. No, I don't know it. I hope someone of you can help me. It says Blue Buggy. Experimental flavors. Blue Buggy Punch 626. I have no idea what's blue. If I find it out, like I will research it, like probably afterwards, I will put it here. Okay, now I just found out that the Blue Buggy Punch pin is actually meant to be represent Stitch. Yeah, okay, I get it. Experiment 626. Okay, but Buggy? Blue Buggy? I mean, Stitch is blue, yeah. And 626 is his experiment form, yeah. What does it mean? What has it got to do with Buggy? Blue Buggy? Please explain that to me in the comments. Maybe it's some reference that I don't understand because I'm not a native speaker. Like maybe I have no clue. And it doesn't look like Stitch to me at all. I mean, it has his colors. But that's it. But okay, let's open up the other calendar. Here is the 17. Let's see if I know what's in here. Ah, I can see already something. A pony brush, a comb. But what's the other thing? There's something else. What's this? Oh, there's lots of pony things. So cool. Yay! So yeah, I had a quick research so I can immediately tell you like what this is. I mean, obviously that's a My Little Pony comb. One of the like very original ones, but I immediately also saw that this line here is not completely like straight. It bends a little bit down, so I immediately thought, oh yeah, this must be from an Italian release of ponies. And I was right. This one originally came either with Italian collector's pose bow tie, which I have. I can show you that pony. Nice. She's so cute. I love the collector's pose ponies. So either with this, or I also found out that it also came with Italian parasol, but actually not exactly with this variant of Italian parasol, but rather with the second variant, which has the light hair. Because this is parasol, it's Italian, but there is a variant which has not these like darker rainbow hair colors that look more like the normal like first set rainbow ponies, but rather with the like more neon hair that resembles more the hair of the second set rainbow ponies. With this one it would also have come. I can just show you the normal Italian parasol. Yay! And what else did we have in there? These two hair clips, which are also Generation 1 My Little Pony. And when I see these, I like immediately always think of, oh, these must go to the Dance and Prance ponies. But not always. You can recognize if it's one from the Dance and Prance ponies, if it has tinsel in it. This one does. So I mean, it's just a very small strand of hair, but it has tinsel in it. And with this color, like this blue and magenta hair strand, it belongs to Player, like to this one. So, yay! There you go. No, that looks stupid. Like, I definitely have to recurl the strand like a little bit nicer. This looks like strange, but yeah, it goes to player. Dance and Prance pony player. Yay! The other one, which color combination wise looks like, this probably belongs to player 2. No, I mean this is like perfect, the color combination, but it doesn't. This is without tinsel, a nice light pink, probably also the fading pink, and then this light mint or turquoise color. But this is just from a Pretty Up set. So again, the Seashore Pretty Up, which I already got 2 other things in my calendar. This hair pick, and this hair pick. All these 3 came like in an accessory set for My Little Pony, and that was called the Seashore Pretty Up, which was like more based around, you know, shells and the sea. This one not really, but it also came with a comb shaped like a fish, stuff like that. So this belongs in here, but it looks very, very similar to the ones that the Dance and Prance ponies came with. Very nice! So that was very cool. Let's place them somewhere here. Okay, so for today's video I planned to put it's not really the second part, but you could say the second part of the My Little Pony Generation 1 magazine videos that I filmed for you. So today I want to go more into like the detail of like history. Where did these magazines come from? Were there magazines all around the world, or is it a German only thing or a Europe only thing? You will get to know that right now. Hello everyone, Lau here. I'm back to tell you more about the My Little Pony magazines. In this video I'm trying to get more into the history of them, where they came from, what they were produced for or by, which countries, etc, etc. So if you want to know how I acquired all of those, because I have like at least around like half of all of the My Little Pony magazines that were released in Germany. I'm from German, so I have the German copies. They say Mein kleines Pony. If you know and want to have like a story time, go to the video that I linked down in the description. Maybe it's even the video just beforehand to hear me talk about all of those, like the extras, the little gifts that were included, etc, etc. They were not mine. I got them all from sellers of eBay or whatever. This is not the time, as I said, go to the other video, but let's just start getting into it. What was it about those comics and those magazines? These that I have here actually originate in the UK. So the publisher London Editions, together with Hasbro Industries UK, created those magazines for the UK, for Great Britain, and actually they ran from around 1985 until 1994. So not 94, no new ones were produced, but until the end of 1993. Actually, there were 2 series produced running at the same time. One just called My Little Pony and one called My Little Pony Friends. They also included comics about not only My Little Pony, but also the Moon Dreamers, about Potato Head kids, like, you know, the Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head thing. They also had a new toy line back then, like in the 80s. Glow Friends, Fairy Tale Birds, all those toy series from Hasbro that were around that time. So they were also featured in those. They ran a little bit longer, but started a little bit later in 87, but they ran both at the same time. I know that the normal My Little Pony magazine was released every 2 weeks, sometimes also every week. as I said, from 1985 till the end of 1993. And those two magazines, they actually shared the same continuity. So it was sometimes when in a comic of this, the normal My Little Pony magazine, sometimes something happened, then in the other magazine, maybe in a comic, they would refer to what happened there. So they were in the same continuity. But I can already tell you they were not in the same continuity as the My Little Pony Generation 1 television show that aired also in the 80s. That was a different thing. I will come to that a little bit later, but just to let you know, different setting here, not really setting, but it's not the same canon to tell you. Who did the art? Because you know, it definitely looks totally like the Generation 1 My Little Pony art that was showed in the back cards. A little bit simpler because obviously it was like produced for a lot of comics for a very short time. So you have those typical children's comics, panels, and the art is very simple but nice colored, never really ugly or anything. They often use the same poses that were already known from the ponies of the back cards and everything. Who made these comics? Well, the comics were drawn and produced by a Spanish company called, well, I don't know how to pronounce Spanish things, but Selección Ilustrada or something, a Spanish company. So it was like a mixture of UK Hasbro together with London editions and this Selección Ilustrada that brought out those comics for the UK originally. In those magazines, and in those magazines sometimes there were more than one comic, and all together the UK released 223 issues from the My Little Pony magazine, so the normal, not the My Little Pony and Friends. I don't know how many were released there. And so not only the comics were in those magazines, but also the advertisements, some activity pages. Let me show you something. Is there anything here? Obviously in this one not. That was the best. For example here, like activity pages, follow those strings to find out what umbrella goes to parasol, parasol goes to parasol. Also it featured something about the ponies themselves, obviously most of the ones that were released back then, all that stuff. And they did not stay only in the UK, because I'm from Germany, you would have guessed that, I have the German ones. They were brought to other European countries as well. So Germany had them, Finland, Holland, France, Sweden. They all used the same comics, although not necessarily in the same order released. So maybe the first comics aired then later in Germany. It was all mixed up, so that was actually also not a problem, because it's not a comic like the storyline that you had to follow. It was super episodic, typical children's comics, most often just some pages long, but all set in the same Ponyland with the same characters. Then new characters came in, all that stuff. Did America have My Little Pony magazines from the Generation 1 ponies? Did the US get them? No. This was a completely European only thing. In the US there were no My Little Pony magazines, no My Little Pony comics in the 80s, 90s whatsoever, not at all. That is a thing that only here we in Europe had. I personally think I might have had one of them, or one or two or something. Don't really have a good memory of having anyone, but it would be totally possible because I had ponies, I love them. I was born in 88, so there's totally a possibility that I had some in 1991 or something. Don't really remember that. The only European country that had like completely different magazines, completely different comics, was Italy. Italy produced their own comics. They looked also totally different. They had different, I don't know, characters with different stories. Their art looked different. That was something else. Obviously, also probably together with Hasbro, because Hasbro was really keen on those things, approving the art, approval of what storylines are. So that was always really drawn together by UK Hasbro. So I assume that the Italian comics also had to go through different approval stages by Hasbro themselves, because obviously those magazines were also, again, another way of advertisement for their ponies themselves, because they featured the ponies as the characters in the comics, but they also featured advertisements or like pages where they show the new news, pony releases, all that stuff. Also, what's interesting, I already talked about in the other video, there were in every magazine there were extras. In Germany we say extras, but I think gifts, small gifts. These were not the same in all of the different countries, as well as also like the other content that was in the magazines was also different in the countries. So obviously the comics remained the same, as I said, a little bit different release order, but what the rest of the content would be totally like up to the publisher from the country. Like in Germany, for example, it was the EHPA publisher, and they decided what else to put in there. Like, for example, this was definitely, maybe it had to be approved by Hasbro, but it was something that was maybe not featured in that way for all of the other countries. So those pony stories that were like from the newest releases, or I don't know, the riddles that were in here where you could, what you could win, all that stuff. That was also like different for all the different countries. And of course, the language was different, obviously. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Look at those beautiful advertisements here for the merry-go-round ponies. Or what do we have here? The Playtime Baby Brothers, and yeah, adventure ponies in Germany, because they were released differently. Some more pages from the comics. Well, the gifts, I have to say, that were in the magazines were definitely better over in the UK than they were in Germany. I mean, still, when I see what was in here, it was all like mostly papery goods. So most of like stickers, a poster, cards, like a small card game, or table cards for your birthday, stuff like that. They also had those. I showed them in the other video. Those tracing paper, not cutouts, but cards. Or this pony suitcase, stuff like that. Everything actually papery stuff, but over in the UK, they also sometimes, they had also somehow had like stickers, some magazines and stuff, but they also had combs and brushes in there. For example, the Christmas tree brush that was actually released with the Christmas pony with Merry Treats. That was also one of the extras, one of the gifts in one of the UK magazines. Or they also had, I don't know, balloons, or like really things you could feel like you could use, pony accessories, stuff like that, other than just a calendar made out of paper or stuff like that. So they had a little bit more variety in the gifts, but still super cool that a lot of European countries had their magazines, and kids could have this pony fun like every 2 weeks, or in the fact of Germany it was every month. It was released monthly. Also in Germany the magazines did not have, I don't know, which one should I show you? Another one. They didn't come with like numbers, so not Pony magazine number 115 or something. They were labeled like this in the UK, but they were shown with the release year and the month. So this is from January of 1989. 89? Yeah, 89. Sorry, I was like, what? 89, yeah. The Princess Pony, and you already see that here we have like the dragons that were released with the Princess Ponies in Europe, so in the UK or also I think in Italy. This would have not been obviously in the US because the US had the Bush Woolies, so there you can see it's a European thing, these comics. What about the continuity in general? So where did these comics take place? As I said, it was definitely not the continuity of the television show. That was. I'm not that good with with the first television show. I've never watched it as a child. I also never watched My Little Pony Tales, all those from the 80s, early 90s. So I can only take my information from what I read, but those were set in different continuities. They were similar, but some of the ponies featured in the comics here, for example, had different character traits. They were more, definitely more to what the characters would have been described in the back cards of the ponies, and also these comics here, they sometimes featured Megan, so Annabelle in German, but they didn't feature any of like Molly or this other guy. Or what also is like very noticeable, one of the main characters here always is Majesty, so the unicorn pony. Where do we have her here? That was released with the Dream Castle. So the Dream Castle is definitely one of the points like where a lot of the stories start, because this is like the main thing here. This is where Majesty lives. She has a magical mirror in there to be able to look what all the ponies are doing. So, and Majesty actually was, I think, never in the original like television show. So this is a big difference. Also, every pony in the magazines has the ability to do kind of magic, always with this wink. They can do everything, you know. It's not only that the unicorns or Pegasi can do magic or whatever, it's just everything. This is also, I think, different to what, I mean, it's also different to what My Little Pony Friendship's Magic is doing, but this is probably as well as what the original TV show was like based around. So this is different. Also, they have the ponies here, they have a lot of friends that are non-ponies but are not humans, so they are a lot of in those pony lands here, a lot of characters like, I don't know, they look like humans but they are then dwarves, or they are fairies, or they are witches and wizards, and they are sometimes also evil people, evil guys, evil wizards, but it's never really anything really like action, I don't know. It's super light for super young readers. So yeah, definitely also what's as I said with these where you can see the dragons that are just released in Europe, it's definitely also that none of the US released ponies or only US released ponies were shown in here. So if you had a set that consisted of 6 ponies in the US but just 4 ponies over here in Europe, for example the candy cane ponies or the merry-go-round ponies or stuff like that, and only the 4 ponies were shown in here. But as the comics were done for the UK, done in Italy for the UK, Spain done for the UK, and some of the ponies that were not released in Germany but were released in the UK were in here. So that's actually where some of the ponies that never were released in Germany, but still we know that they have German names, those names come from. For example, some of the Magic Message ponies like Mirror Mirror, she is featured, I don't know if I find that, probably not. She's definitely featured in here, in those, or also the Windy, the Magic Message Windy. As that were never released in Germany, but still we know they have German names. That comes from those comics, but obviously they had to give them names. It's then Spieglein or Mirror Mirror or something. That's interesting. So that's where some of the known German pony names come from, although they were never released in Germany. That's from the comics, because the comics were made actually for the UK. And obviously some of the UK releases were still different than German releases. You can't always say just Euro release, because it still had different parts in different countries. But that's really interesting, and what I really like about having those German issues with the comics and obviously also the informational parts is that I can learn now more about the German names. I mean, I'm from Germany, so I should know, but I didn't when I was a child. I couldn't even read because I was so young when I had ponies. I didn't know the names and I didn't have many ponies. And when you go now online, and the pony community obviously is super international and we're all talking in English, so I never really know what the German names are. But when I just go to, I don't know, let's pick this one. And here we've got the Russian Grow ponies in there in those magazines, also in the comics featured then obviously. Who lives in Ponyland? Then you have the German names. Zöpfchen, Zauberhübsch, Ringellocke und Löckchen. So and in the comics obviously they are all also named with their German names. Konfetti, Leckermäulchen, Feuerfunke und Schleifchen sind losgezogen, um ihre Freunde zu befreien. Yeah, well, that would be Confetti. Oh my goodness, I don't even know. Confetti, Gusty, Firefly, and Bowtie. So I learn about the German names. That's amazing, because it's toy history. Also more like drawn to my history, because I'm from Germany, obviously. What else did I write down? Yeah, what you could already like guess is that, as I said, wizards and witches and dragons and stuff like that. So yes, it was same as the TV show, based around like such a fantasy setting with dragons and castles and princesses, stuff like that. A lot of magic, but it changed, like especially in the end, like around maybe 1992, 1993, it faded into that typical more like teenager lifestyle with families. Hey, we're going to the party, we're going shopping, school things, stuff like that, which was then obviously also featured in the new TV show back then, My Little Pony Tales. That also took over for the comics, although the continuity was again a different one. So it was not the same. Maybe it was the same characters as for the My Little Pony Tales, but it was not directly, it was never really connected. Just loosely, as with the theming. As you see, it went from those fantasy settings that was typical for the 80s until those like slice of life, teenager, whatever, shopping party, hey, we're doing makeup thing, which was often more theming in the children's shows or in children's, like in a toy series of the 90s. That's at least what I think. I have that feeling. Yeah, maybe that's actually everything I can tell you. As I said, I have in the last I have some of the issues starting from 87. 88 I have, I think, none. I don't know, maybe even one from 86, I don't even know that. Then I have a lot of from 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. I even have the last issue, the Christmas issue. Very fitting for Vlogmas here right now. And the difference already you can see is that the back doesn't show any like hints on what the next magazine would be. That would always be featured on the last page of the magazine, on the back page. And this one just says, Dear My Little Pony readers, this is the last issue. In German it was called das Kunterbunte Pony Magazin, so the colorful pony magazine. We thank you all that you are that you read those magazines for years and years. You spent time with us on our adventures, and you already became like our neighbors in Ponyland, and the Ponyland will live forever in your fantasy, and we are already looking forward to see you again. Bye, your little ponies. I nearly need to cry when I read this, because I imagine being a child, loved this magazine, like the one that I got most of my magazines from. She was such a huge fan, and she told me she was heartbroken when they stopped doing it. I mean, that was the time when the Generation 1 pony line stopped. This is 12 from 1993, so it totally makes sense to also discontinue the pony magazine, because no ponies were released again. But it was still going strong, obviously. In the US they had already stopped releasing ponies before that, so Europe is always a little bit later. When I read this, I mean, I didn't have that feeling back then. I don't know, in 1993, I don't even know if I was still into ponies. I probably was, but I had no idea whatsoever about new releases. I just got my ponies off of flea markets anyway. This is like pony history. Like, this is like so interesting to me, and so interesting that it was just something that was released in Europe. Maybe I show you one of the earlier magazines. Which ones could I show you? What are we here? Here's Speedy and Baby Gusty. Oh yeah, the baby sea ponies were featured heavily here, because in Germany we didn't have many of the sea ponies, but the watercolor baby sea ponies were in there. So actually, when they started the comics, it featured all of the pony releases from year 2 and 3, so all those like Peachy and Cotton Candy and I don't know, Posy, all those ponies were already in there, and obviously with the years coming, new ponies were released. They always incorporated those ponies into the magazines, so that means when you have like a magazine from 1991, it definitely featured the newest ponies in the comics as well as in the in the advertisements and stuff like that. So if you had, now let's grab this one. Yeah, for example, here you've got some of the candy cane ponies, and here we've got the rainbow curl ponies. A lot of advertisements for the piccolo ponies, so the petite ponies. Or here, when the glittery Sweetheart Sister ponies were released, they were featured heavily in the comics. So it was more really a thing of showing the ponies that were released, the toys themselves actually. More than sticking to one set of main characters or something. No. It did not only have comics, sometimes it just had some pictures and then a longer text, so a very short story. Okay. Oh, look at those cute newborns. So actually that's it, what I wanted to tell you about, like where those magazines were released, what did they come from. I hope you can tell me, because I already asked that in the first video, do you have an idea if you want to see each and every magazine, every page in videos? Making a video about every magazine, just a short one, putting them together, making a video about all the magazines from 1991 or stuff like that. Just tell me in the comments if you are interested in seeing that. A, seeing all of the magazines in detail, and B, if you have like ideas how I could do that without doing endless videos only about pony magazines. I don't know. I hope you had fun watching. I hope you're enjoying Vlogmas. See you soon. May the force be with you. Bye.